Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. As the spring season sweeps across the Cherokee Nation, we line up with a major league hopeful on the minor league circuit as he pursues his childhood dream. Plus, we go back in time to the Great American Foot Race of 1928, won by an unlikely competitor named Andy Payne. But first, it's a sporting event like none you've ever seen. 70 boats taking off into the dark waters of Lake Eucha here in Oklahoma, all to see who can gig the most fish and win bragging rights for a year. In Jay, Oklahoma, on the eastern edge of the Cherokee Nation, gigging is a way of life.
When we go gigging, it's almost always at night because you can see the fish better. And you've got about a 10 to 12 foot pole with one of these on the end of it. And you see the fish and stick them if you can.
Used to go frog gigging a little bit. Oh, you can gig them off the bank, but it's harder. It's just easy out in the boat. It don't take very long to kill them if there's fish. Dad used to bring us down here when we was just little kids, and we'd gig like for 10 minutes apiece. Boy, we'd be back there watching his watch.
If you didn't miss, you didn't get down from the front of the boat, you know. I mean, I'd jerk the boat around and move him around, go fast and stuff to try to make him miss so I could get up there.
Each year, every gigger from this part of the country puts their pride on the line to compete in the annual gigging tournament on Lake Eucha. The tournament draws thousands of people from all over the Cherokee Nation and 70 to 80 boats that line the shore waiting for nightfall.
I bet 90% of them are probably Cherokee, because most people around here are Cherokee. I've been gigging in this tournament since the late 70s, won it 10 times.
Steve and Greg Wilson are brothers and the team to beat.
There's a reason we call Steve Wilson Zeus down here. He's just the best person to ever put a gig in their hand. There's no doubt.
Steve has 10 titles and Greg has 9, so we've still got a lot of work to do.
Doug Post Oak and John Henry Ward, they're the
King of the carp.
King of the carp is what they are. King of the carp giggers.
I've won 4 gigging tournament championships. We've been gigging together probably since we were 16. When I could drive, we would go, you know, on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and instead of going to town and getting in trouble. A lot of times it was a lot easier to convince Mom and Dad to let us go out and take the gigging boat and go gigging.
When it comes to competition, gigging is all about strategy, going up the shallow creek for the small fish or out to the lake for the big fish.
Yeah, you get to choose your direction, going east or west. East being up the creek, west down the lake. And they'll draw your number out of a hat up there and put you in order. Who's on the end has the best chance of getting to the fish first. If you beat somebody up there by 15 seconds, that can mean a lot of fish. You can do some damage.
Some people go up the creek and look for suckers, and we're not very small people, and so we tend to go down the lake and look for the big fish, and that way we don't have to fight the rat race going up the creek.
They go after the big fish and kind of get them up in, you know, real shallow water. Maybe their back's sticking out of the water and stuff. It makes it a little easier for them to get them.
One year we saw him up the creek, and I go, "What in the world are you doing up here?" He said, "We're lost." Well, everybody has fun. I mean, it's a fun deal. Everybody gets after each other, teases, ribs them, but when that flare goes off, it's serious.
As night begins to fall, the competition heats up. The love is lost for old fishing buddies as everyone waits for that starting flare.
All I know is probably from 15 minutes before that flare goes off to the time it goes off, it starts getting a little nervy right then now, way nervy.
Takeoff's awesome. If you got smart people around you, you usually have a good one. If you got crazy people around you, they usually run over you.
When the flare does go off, there's going to be hateful words spoke. At 9:03, when the waves start, there's going to be 40 or 50 boats go that way, probably 40 or 50 boats go that way.
We push out, and then he looks for his opening. When he sees it, we're gone.
You got to have everything go right. You got to motor, lights, everything's got to be good. And then if you do get to where the fish are, then you got to get them.
During a tournament, there's There's not friends. It's dog eat dog. Go get them.
You know, there are certain things you look for and you know, little tricks you learn, and you know, you're looking for little things that maybe just don't look right. You know, there's something that looks like it might be moving, or something in the shape of a fish. And
You know, sometimes you look for like the weeds. They'll start parting. You know, there'll be a big fish in there. Sometimes the fish will be so shallow that their backs will be out of the water.
it's never easy, I'll put it that way. It just, you know, sometimes it's very, very frustrating when you think you see one and you maybe just get a little piece of him and you're like, man, that was a nice one. Should have had that one. But
And this year's tournament proved to be very frustrating for our two teams who did not make it to the winner's circle.
You know, pull up to the bank, getting ready for weigh-in, and you see little kids' eyes when you have that many fish. They're like, you know, they know that's a bunch. You know, this guy brought 40 in, but that's a bunch right there.
and some of them will look and say, oh, you guys didn't do very good. And they'll just take off. And you're like, oh, that's hurtful. Don't be talking like that to us.
Sucker! Fish are weighed in, and they have a different point for different species of fish.
This year's champions with 322 points, Jared Davis and Hayden Davis.
And the funny thing is, it's all over a plaque and a $50 gift certificate. It's a great badge of honor, and it's something that we're all very proud of, you know, and you know, I don't know how else to put it. There's not anything really that comes with it other than a lot of pride and some bragging rights for the year. Next year. We'll see you here next year.
See you over there.
Next weekend. There you go.